Did you know that in the olden days, the way that they would train elephants not to run away was that as an elephant was a baby, they would tie their leg to a tree. And as the elephant grew, they would eventually remove the rope, and the elephant had no idea that they were free to leave because they had been conditioned that they were tied to this tree. Well, it turns out you could do the same thing with people. Well, hello brothers and sisters, happy Monday morning and welcome to Mission Zero. If this is your first time here, my name is Shawn and this is Battle Cry, the show where we give you a motivational theme that can carry you through a more positive week. The last week or two, we've been talking about interrelation and kind of prioritization and stuff to get the year started off right. And I think what would behoove us to talk about today is 3 links in a chain that we have just got to break ourselves free from. The reason that I say they are links in a chain is because they're 3 things that sort of play off of each other. And the very first one, the first chain link that we need to shed ourselves of is blame. There is such the tendency in our modern world, particularly in the first world, right, to find the finger to point at someone, to say, it's not my fault that I'm this way, it's not my fault that I've reacted with this way, it's not my fault that X. No, it's somebody else's fault, and to find the source of blame, of the mistake, so we can punish them. The problem with that is that it never, ever leads anywhere worthwhile. Okay, great, you found the point of blame. Well, that person can take and shift their blame further back. You don't ever find a stopping point, right? We can take this all the way back to Adam and Eve, who can probably find a way to point it back to Satan, who could find a way to point it back to God. Blame is a useless, hear me, it is a useless exercise. It weighs us down with this weird thirst for justice that only provides one thing. That one thing is the second chain that we need to shut ourselves of, which is anger. Now, I'm not saying you can eliminate anger from your life. Anger can quite often be a useful emotion to have. What I'm saying is that we need to shut ourselves of the need to give in to anger. See, because the truth of blame is that it just generates anger. And the truth of anger is that it is self-sustaining. If you want to get mad, you can always find a reason to be mad. And once you get mad, you can just stay that way. In all of us, rage is an ocean that is untapped, and the moment you tap it, the cap is really hard to put back on. Now, this is a thing I've talked about on this channel before. I struggle with anger. And so I'm speaking, trust me when I say I'm speaking from a place of knowledge. The rage about racial issues and sexuality issues and what's stupid or who's a snowflake or whatever, all of the nonsense that floats around in our society just drives more and more and more anger. And it is just as useless as blame. And the uncomfortable truth for all of us is that this blame and this anger that wells up is all rooted in something else. And that something is the third link that we need to break, the third thing that we need to shut ourselves of. Insecurity. Insecurity, this idea that we are not safe to be who we are, that we are insufficient, that we are not a part of the whole of humanity, that we are a them and everyone else is an us. This is the thing that generates anger. That anger has such depth because It's aimed inward. It's the anger that we aren't who we want to be, that we aren't living the life that we want to live, that we don't have the satisfaction that we want. And so we get angry and we take it out on other people. And then we seek blame because we need other people to pay for the fact that we just aren't good enough. But do you see the corruption there? The corruption in that is that insecurity, that belief that we aren't normal enough or good enough or whatever. It's not true. The truth is, we are not a them. There is no them. And I do this too, right? I get into these moments of anger where I start to separate between a me and a them, between an us and a them. And it's not right because it's not true. No matter how we fight against it, no matter how we struggle, no matter how we beat ourselves or other people down, we are one body. And I'm not just talking about the body of Christ. We, the human race, are one creature. There are a multitude of us with all unique personalities and qualities and looks and styles and cultures. Yes, and that diversity is beautiful, but it is beautiful as a one tapestry. Our lives are inexorably woven together in one story, one picture, one body. We have to understand that. And that's my exhortation for us for this week. Find the us. When you start to feel insecure, when you start to have anger well up, when you start to try and place blame, say to yourself over and over and over, there is no them, there is only us. There is no them, there is only us. And say it until you believe it, until it hits you. And I hope that this message can be of value to you, that this speaks to you the way that it speaks to me this week. And may God pour out the blessings of strength to shed these chains, to free ourselves of these bonds that weigh us down so heavily. And I love you. I so love you. Peace out.